Well, again, a warm good evening and welcome to the Fairfield Prep Rugby family. For those of you who I don't know, my name is Christian Cashman, and I'm the 17th president of Fairfield Prep. I'm the first non-Jesuit to be appointed president, and the joke has been the last 2 years that you didn't get a Jesuit, but you got a Christian. So we're gonna make that work. But it's just a joy to welcome you all back home to North Benson. I wanted to offer my thanks and gratitude tonight, certainly to our advancement team, to Kathy Norell, who does such a great job putting on these events, to our communications team, to Tom Curran, our athletic director, and to all of you Prep Rugby alumni and friends, family, parents who make all that we do in Prep Rugby possible. We're so pleased to be able to come here tonight and honor Frank Decker for his 38-year coaching legacy at Fairfield Prep. Let's hear it for Frank. Also, just want to say a word of thanks to the amazing coaching staff, which is an unbelievable legacy of Prep alums. Kevin Carey, class of 2000, John Broker, 88, John Myers, 13, Joe Roberts, class of 12, and at a distance, Jack Connolly, 65, who's always helped with our Jesuit tournaments, and I believe is living in Seattle, yes? Or is he here? Made it! God bless! Didn't know you were going to be on campus. Welcome home. Welcome home. Wouldn't miss it. So, at Prep, we often talk about standing on the shoulder of giants, giant Jesuits, laymen and women, coaches who make our mission possible. And thousands of scholar athletes have come through the halls of Fairfield Prep, formed in the crucible of competition and brotherhood. I know this from my own son's experience playing here at Fairfield Prep, and while none of my own sons had the pleasure of having Frank as a coach, hundreds of my theology spiritual warriors had Frank. And they survived his warrior training through rugby, the true gentleman's sport. While I know we'll speak tonight of Frank's many achievements and accomplishments and his storied career, including 9 appearances in the Connecticut Rugby State Champs and 5 New England Championships, the real measure of Frank's legacy are the hundreds of prep men he has coached and taught and formed. Rugby has grown exponentially in Frank's decades at Prep to its current prominence of over 100 boys in our program. For most of our boys, Prep Rugby has been a pathway and a unique experience of athletics and brotherhood, exposing them to a truly different kind of brotherhood and experience from any other sport at Fairfield Prep. Frank Decker has spent his life in service as a member of the United States Army, a lifelong teacher and coach, and as a mentor to his Prep ruggers. Nowhere is the Jesuit mantra, men for others, more clear than in the life of Frank Decker. So for your tremendous contributions to Prep Rugby and our Jesuit mission, I say well done, good and faithful servant. Fairfield Prep will never forget your contributions to our boys, to our mission, and your love of our program. So in the words of Father Tommy Murphy, we may laugh, we may cry, but we never say die. Let's go Fairfield. Fairfield, let's go. Thank you, Frank Decker, and hail Prep. It's now my pleasure to introduce our athletic director with a few words of tribute, Tom Curran.
All right, well, welcome again, everybody. Thanks, everyone, for being here tonight to honor Frank. 38 years, as Christian said, is an amazing accomplishment. And in 3 years, when I turned 38, I can truly call Frank, thank him for what 38 years means, because I can't really wrap my head around it. As Christian said, we have an amazing coaching staff here at Prep. Obviously, starts with Frank, but you've got Kevin Carey, Jack Connolly, John Broker, John Myers, Joey Roberts, and they're all Prep alums. They all played for Frank, and they all represent a different era of Prep rugby. And you can't script that kind of continuity, that kind of shared mission, and really the family atmosphere that Prep rugby has. It's really second to none. It starts with Frank, and the fact that Frank is handing off the Prep Rugby program to Kevin Carey next year is such an amazing thing, and it really just keeps the tradition going strong. And going in the right direction that Frank set. So couldn't be more thankful to our coaching staff, to Frank for where we are. And, the rugby coaches at Prep and in general are such an independent group. They get it done themselves. They don't need much. And at Prep, the rugby program is truly a blessing to have. Not a lot of our surrounding schools or competitors have it. And rugby at Prep really can set us apart. So in that spirit, I wanted to tell a quick story about Frank. When I took over as AD, the previous AD told me, when you have your preseason meeting with Frank, he's going to ask you for everything. He's going to ask for all these different things. And his strategy is that if he asks for a ton of different things, he'll get what he needs. So I thought to myself, all right, I respect that. That's a good strategy, Frank. So keeping that in mind, I have my first couple seasons go in and have my preseason meetings with Frank, and I'm thinking, all right, these must be down years because Frank's not asking me for much. And more years go by, and to this day, I still don't understand where that comment came from, because if you know anything about Frank, if you give him a couple rugby balls, a couple jerseys, a couple pennies, and Growart Field, he's going to run the program. He's gonna put us in the right direction. He doesn't mean much. It's all about, the kids, the competition, and the camaraderie. And couldn't be luckier to have worked with you, Frank, for the last 8 years. And hope you can enjoy all of your accomplishments over these many years. And we hope to see you back next year cheering us on. So, cheers to Frank. Thank you so much. Fairfield Prep is a better place because of you. So now I'd like to bring up Kevin Carey, assistant rugby coach and our head rugby coach for next year.
All right, hello everybody. I know a lot of these faces. Looking forward to meeting a few more. First off, it means just so much to me, and I know it means so much to Frank that all of us are here. I don't know if this is exactly a Frank event, but I think that this is absolutely spectacular. And looking out, seeing so many different eras of prep rugby here is pretty spectacular. Truly, the family that is represented and that we built in this room through this program is absolutely sacred. And I'm so thankful that you're all with us. So, Frank, a part of me knew that this day was coming, but it's still really, really difficult to imagine what today means. Because as you all know, Frank Decker is rugby at Fairfield Prep. And in many ways, Frank Decker is rugby in the state of Connecticut. I look out in this room and I see a very small sampling of the thousands, if not tens of thousands of people that Frank has affected over the course of his career. Forget the love of the game that he's instilled within them, or the fact that he's taught more players who've become college athletes than any other coach in prep history. It's really the number of good men that he has helped to develop that's the metric that I'm most interested in. I hope on my best days that I'm one of those men. Because my story with Frank begins as many of yours does. I was a freshman at Fairfield Prep who thought I was going to be an amazing athlete. And lo and behold, Frank taught me how to become a pretty decent person instead. Now, that's not to say I wasn't an amazing athlete by the time I was finished. But as we all know, there comes a time for us to hang up the spikes. And what I was most thankful for was the lessons and values that he instilled with me instead. So a lot of times, when we think about Frank's impact, we think about some of the guys that he sent out and put on to the next level. But last night I was thinking about what I wanted to say about Frank in order to celebrate his career. And just like Christian, I got out his list of accomplishments. I thought about 5 New England championships, 9 state championship games, thousands of college rugby players, high school and collegiate All-Americans, professional rugby players, U.S. Eagles. And I was like, wow, it's a pretty awesome career, honestly. But I think the more meaningful impact, truthfully, was really this. You know, I've only been back at the program since 2004, and I missed 20 years of the impact that Frank had on men like these. This is who we are truly proud of. Good sons, good brothers, good husbands, good fathers. That's what Frank is, and that's what he and the game of rugby has taught me. You know, in rugby, as in life, things don't always go your way. So Frank taught me to be patient, to wait for the right opportunity, and to hit it with everything that you had when that moment arrives. Frank always taught me to keep my teammates up and to keep those around me positive. Frank taught me to respect my opponent and even the rule keepers in life, even if I don't always agree with their decisions. And Frank taught me to love something passionately, and that when I did, to never let that thing go. So, again, I'm really thankful that so many of his players and our families are here today, because I think that we make up the true impact of what Frank has had on this institution, and I think that we are the result of a most successful career. I'm honored, I'm humbled, and truthfully, fellas, I'm a little bit terrified to step in the boots of the greatest rugby coach in Connecticut history. But I promise you that I'll do my best to continue the tradition that you've started here, Frank. I promise you that I will continue to the best of my ability to teach young men in the fashion that you taught me. And I promise you that Prep Rugby will continue to be the program that produces the best young men that Fairfield Prep has to offer. So thank you for everything that you've done for me and everything that you've done for this school over the course of your career.
Frank, I just want to say thank you for everything for the class of 1986, the first New England champions in existence. We got this for Frank. Fairfield Prep Rugby, 1986 New England champions, and I remember you being bigger, but I was much smaller. So I'm going to get you a large out of the car, but this is for you, and on the back to commemorate 38 seasons. Thank you for everything.
Step and repeat also. Let me do one in here for a minute.
First of all, I need to thank all of you. This is an overwhelming tribute to the Prep Rugby program. And it makes me extremely proud that you're all here and you have carried on the traditions and the thoughts of Prep Rugby as a family. And that's what we are, and that's what we've always tried to be, Prep Rugby family. And you work that way, you were taught that way, and every bit of your lifetime blood is rugby. It's weird, but it's true. You start as a freshman or a sophomore or whenever you start, and it gets in your blood, and you just can't shake it. It's always something that's important to you. Maybe not the most important thing, but it's an important thing to you. And that's what I hoped I would get to show you, because it did jump into my life at a very late stage, not like you guys get to start it early. So I want to thank all of you. This is a very, very special place to be right now. So thank you all. I hope you have a great time. And I'll see you next year, somehow. The other thing, and I know Tom had already stole my thunder, but I would like to officially inaugurate Kevin Carey as the second rugby coach at Fairfield Prep. You can't steal my thunder. That's it. That's all I got, Colleen.